Hello, Warhammer fans out there. This is War General T coming with his first battle rap on YouTube. It's Dwarves vs High Elves at 2,500 points. So I'd just like to welcome you, and this is first time posting. Just a little background. I've been in for a year and a half. Had one tournament experience and signed up for North Star again this year, and hopefully planning on going to Adepticon next year. So hopefully I'll see some of you around. So let's begin. This is our battlefield. We have battle number 5 we rolled for, meeting engagement, where we split the table corner to corner. Of course, deploy from there. As you can see, this is the overview. Alright, here's my left flank. We got a unit of Thunderers up along the hedgerows there. And down from him is a gyrocopter, my first one. And he's proxied by a car right now as is in current of being assembled, and I wanted to play some dwarves here right away. And as you know, our armies are always in assembly, painting, or some sort of stage. And next I got my unit Longbeards with a BSB, a Thane, and a Rune Lord. And then next to him is the first organ gun, which is proxied by the cannon. And we'll continue on with my right flank, which is another organ, so both organ guns are in the center there. And then next to that is the Iron Breakers with the Runesmith. Then the next one is unit of Iron Drakes, and my second Gyrocopter with the Vanguard. That's my battle line. We'll go to the High Elves. As you know, for this battle we had to roll for reserves. I got all mine in. He had only one unit that did not make it in, so one unit is a reserve, and that was the Sky Cutter, as you'll see here later. So we'll start at the bottom and go from there. You have a unit of 5 Elven Reavers, an Eagle, and a unit of Dragon Princes with a battle BSB, Archmage level 4, Magic Shadow, another first Bolt Thrower, and then the Archers, and then another second Bolt Thrower. As you can see, there's more models on there. That'll be on the next page. Alright, here's the right flank of the High Elves. We got a unit of Sisters of Avalorn with a Handmaiden of the Ever Queen and a Mage level 2 Lore of Life. And then next to that is the a third Bolt Thrower. Next to them, another unit of Elderring Reavers, and ahead of them is a unit of Silverhelms with the Noble as the general in that unit. I also know from the last picture, you could probably notice how his battle line is more shaped of a horseshoe, because he didn't want to be out of range of some stuff, and so which was kind of unique. Alright, and on to Dwarf turn 1. As you can tell, first copter with the Vanguard moved up, and then the turn 1, the units start moving up. I moved those breakers or drakes up they're normal 3 inches. And for movement on my left flank, as you can see, the copter moved up. He moved in behind the Thunderers. Then I moved my Longbeards up their normal inches. So that was it for my movement. Then, so of course, dwarves have no magic, so there is no magic there for them. For shooting, that first organ gun you can see in the shot was able to shoot at the Silverhelms up at the top there. Had got 16 shots at him with 5 hits, all 5 wounding. So with his saves and attempt to saves, 2 of them die. The Thunderers shoot next at the Silverhelms also. Of course, they only get 2 hits and unfortunately no wounds, so they're still around. And then with that end of the turn, there was no magic. Oh, and then the second organ gun on the off screen here, in his shooting phase, he he was out of range of anything, so he couldn't shoot at anything. So that pretty much ended the dwarf turn 1. So we go on to high elves turn 1. The silver helms charge into the thunders, who stand and shoot, and with that they get 2 hits, 1 wound. Unfortunately, he saves that 1 wound. Then he takes terrain test, passes all those, which is not looking good for dwarves so far. I have to say, the Eldarin Reavers move up, Sisters move up some. Everybody else pretty much stays where they are on this one. On this movement of this area, as you can see, the eagle moved back some. As you can tell, you know why in a moment here. Dragon princes move up. This is kind of in a picture later after the magic phase, actually, because some of his dragon princes are missing, which I'll explain later on. But that's for that image. Alright, this image here, this is where that was Dragon Prince's image comes in play. With 5 dice on Pits of Shade against my Longbeards, he throws this. 5 dice, he gets 2 6s, so the irresistible force, great. No dispel throws or no dispelling attempts. So he rolls for his miscast roll, gets a 7. He tries for his ward saves on his Dragon Princes because they have the Banner of the World Dragon. Misses 3 of them, so 3 Dragon Princes are dead. Yay. Good start there for me. Unfortunately, it's time for him to get ahead here by resolving the spell. So we'll go to that. And here we go. Direct hit. He rolls a scatter dice and it gets a direct hit on my unit. So we'll go to. So here's the result of that Pit of Shades. With all of them on my unit. As you can see, I proxied my warriors for some Longbeards. We got 16 Longbeards plus my general, all dead on spell number 1. And of course I attempted to look out Sir, and unfortunately that failed on the general. Passed on the BSB and Rune Lord, luckily. But my general, he did not pass and died. And therefore with that, he had to roll his miscast roll. Of course his Dragon Princes are only down 3. Then his next spell, which was Mikados Mystify Miasma, he put that on my aimed at for my Thunderers on 2 dice. Rolled 2 6s. Great. Spell number 2 has now gone off. Irresistible Force. He rolls a miscast of an 8. Does very little damage. So we'll see what this 8 is again. 8. Magical Feedback. Wizard and every model on the side suffers strength 6 hit. Fortunately, of course, his ward save with the Banner of the World Dragon, he saves that. So no wound on him. I know we're going to be making some mistakes because at this point we forgot to do the other mage, do the hit on him, and of course also roll for, with the first dispel, roll for losing dispels power dice, but unfortunately I let him continue on. So we'll continue on here. Now to shooting. We are at high elf shooting. The first one is the Eldarin Reavers at the top. They shoot at my copter, get no wounds on them. I don't remember the hits, but so. And then first bolt thrower shoots 6 shots at the organ gun there. That was there. Gets some hits but no wounds. So then it's up to his archers. His archers fire at the organ gun there. That was there. They get hits through, wounds through. I attempt to save. I think it was at least I don't know, 6 or 8, something around there, but they destroy my organ gun, my first one. The archers. Those pesky little archers. Then we go on to the third bolt thrower. So that will be actually on my other organ gun. So this is the first organ gun destroyed. And here's organ gun number 2, which is being fired by the third and final bolt thrower. 6 shots also. Sure, some hits get through, but luckily for me, no wounds. But then the dreaded sisters are next. That big unit open fires at my organ gun. I'm sure they got at least half of their hits and half of their wounds, enough to destroy that gun there. Now I'm down, out 2 organ guns. So with that high elf shooting over, we go on to combat. And here we are at combat. High elves turn of combat. They made it into thunder, so they kill off 9 right away. 3 survive. I attempt to shoot back, get 1 hit and a wound, or 2. Yeah, 1 hit and a wound at least, because he attempts 1 save and saves it. And then of course my leadership test, I fail and flee off the board. So now they're gone. Unfortunately, I don't have a picture really here, but they went over through the unit and into the copter that's below there. That's proxied by the white card. So that'll be on the next round of combat you probably see coming up. And here we are at the top of turn 2, High Dwarves turn. So the copter and Vanguard earlier, so now he's just moving up his normal movement, first movement. Decided to do that instead of charging those reavers, so I can shoot off my brimstone gun and them hopefully kill the majority of them, so they would have to flee off the board there. Unfortunately, we'll find out later in shooting. Then on the Ironbreakers and Iron Drakes, they march up. Let's see here. March. Yep, they both marched up, and to be closer in position. Alright, and this is my left flank. As you can see, my organ guns are destroyed, my thunderers are gone, so I decided to move my longbeards back a little some in order to prepare for possible charges from those dragon princes, those elder and reavers, and then of course the silver helms. We've gone into my copter there, and most likely we'll go through them. So with that, of course, I did shoot off my copter up off camera. Each shot at the elder and reavers, probably with D3 dice, got 2 shots at them, and no wounds through. So they stand and copter stays. So then next we have the combat here, which is, of course, the copter. Let me see if the stats was. Nope, the Silver Elms, yeah, they pretty much went through him, causing 3 wounds. Couldn't save those 3 wounds. So you see is it coming up here next. Kablooey. Kablooey. The copter's gone after that combat. And then the Silver Elms just do the reform. Get ready for their charges into the Longbeard. Most likely. And unfortunately that's the end of my Dwarf turn 2. So we'll go on to the High Elves. And here we go, High Elf turn number 2. The Sky Cutter gets in Unfortunately, as you can see, he was misplaced, but we'll leave that for another time. Hiding behind the rock. The eagle's there, so he made that room for the sky cutter to get in. Then for his other movements, he charges. Yeah, the sky cutter attempts to charge in, which didn't happen, but he did. And my copter, so he flees. And then the reavers charge the copter, so he double flees again. Still on the boar, luckily. And then of course the other reavers move up there. And that's it for that side on his turn. On his other flank here, he moves his silver helms up instead of charging alongside my long beards. He jumps the elven reavers over the hedges behind them. Looks like he passed all his terrain tests. The sisters move up some inches. I don't think that was their full movement. Dragon princes move up some. Oh, they reformed. No, they didn't move. They just changed positions to reform, going the other direction, possibly to charge my iron breakers or iron drakes. The eagle moves back up behind the rock, hiding the whole time. Just so you know, at this point, you see it at the end. That eagle, it was one scared eagle of the dwarves. He did not want to fight them. He was a scaredy eagle. Haha. Wow. Alright, let's see here. Alright, onto a high elf magic phase. They get 10 to 5 dice. They get their 10, I get my 5. Channels, no channels for either of us. So he does his 6 on the Pit of Shades. I dispel it. Then he does the other last 4 with the withering on the unit of Longbeards. And there, he gets also an irresistible force. 3 6s. Really? I don't remember if he did a miscast roll, or if he did, didn't write it down or kept information on that. So, unfortunately, I don't remember if it was. Most likely, it was a high number, because there's no models gone or anything, or he made his ward saves, one of the two. Anyways, so that's that. And just before this, I'll go over some high elf turn 2 shooting. Let's see here. He does Elven Reavers. Shot into my long beards down there, with one being killed. Then the sisters shoot in, killing 2. The handmaiden hair shots kill 2. The Longbeards take a panic test, no panic. They stay. First bolt thrower shoots at them, 6 shots, no wounds. Second bolt thrower shoots at them, causing a wound, 1 to die. And then the third bolt thrower shoots, I believe at the iron breakers there, but no, with 6 shots, misses them. And then the archers shoot at the iron drakes, causing 5 wounds. And of course I save all 5. Yay, iron drakes, keep on chucking. So that was the end of high elf turn 2. Before we go into the dwarf turn 3 here. So at dwarf turn 3, we have, as you can see, this is pretty much where we left off of 2, going into 3. So here we are at dwarf turn 3. With the organ guns gone, the copter gone, the thunder's gone, my general's gone. At this point I was like, let's just go crazy and march right on in. See if we can get in closer. So of course the copter rallies on this turn. He's still off screen there. Everybody marches forward, so there's no magic with dwarves, no shooting because everybody marched, and no combat. So we go on to the High Elves. For High Elf turn 3, unfortunately this pretty much goes into 4, so I'll just use this one. They decided to Silver Helms move over to the right there. The Elven Reavers, they move up some, moving down and face that way towards my Longbeards. The Sisters move up some, and the other Elven Reavers, they move into the woods, which is normal, as we didn't roll for what type of woods they are. And for High Elf Magic, gets a roll of 5 to 3, so he's 5, mine 3. He gets 2 channels, 2 6s. I don't know what's up with 6s on High Elves on this game. Lucky High Elves. So it's 7 to 3. He attempts to put a shade again on my Longbeards with 6 dice. I use my second dispel scroll. Of course, with that, I get to roll a d6 for a 4+ to remove that from play. I roll. Unfortunately, I get a 3. A 3. So that spell is still in play. Yippee. So we go on to shooting. That's it. He doesn't use the rest of his, must have not used the rest of his dice. So we go on to shooting. So the Elven Reavers had the shot onto the, this was before turn 4, this is turn 4. With my only 4 guys, but before that I had more. So for shooting, the Elven Reavers there on the left, they kill 3. The Elven Reavers on the right kill 2. No, actually they shoot. I get 2 saves from them, so they don't kill any. Sisters up there, they shoot 6, killing 6 Longbeards, and I have 4 other shots to save at. 2 on the BSB, 2 on the Rune Lord, all 4 saved. No, actually, yeah, it was this turn that I got the wounds. So there's 1 wound each. Actually, I got 1 save on each one, so they each got a wound. No, they do save both. All their saves from the sisters. It's the the first bolt thrower that shoots at the unit, getting you 1 wound on the Lord and the BSB there, and the Rune Lord, so they get their wounds from the bolt thrower. Second bolt thrower shoots at the Iron Breakers, cause with 1 shot, don't hit. Third, the last bolt thrower shoots 1 shot also at the Iron Breakers, gets no hit. No, actually, yeah, he does get a hit because he killed a couple of my guys. So that probably in the next image, if I remember right. Yeah. And then the archers shoot on the Iron Drakes, and 2 die there. So archers, they've been pretty good this game. And of course, as you can tell, there's no combat. So we're on to Dwarf turn 4. So at Dwarf turn 4, at this point, as you can see, this is what I left at turn 4, at the start, turn 4. I got 2 Longbeard, the champion, and the standard bearer, most likely, left. And then my BSB and my Rune Lord. And of course, the unit of Iron Breakers and Iron Drakes. And my copter did rally, but he's whatever. So turn 4, what to do? Then all of a sudden, this popped in my head. Why not on a d6 go like this? On a roll of high numbers, fight on, yeah. On a roll of low numbers, flee. So I do that. This is a new rule I just made up. So I don't know if you guys think it's interesting or want to incorporate it into your own game or yourself. But I'm definitely going to think of this, especially at the shop games that I play. I'll be thinking of this again from now on. That if I'm up at this point, like down these guys, is like, ugh, no way to win. I'm going to do this. So on d6, roll high for fight on, roll low, flee. So I roll, get a number 5. Yay, dwarves, let's fight on to the death. So with that, the Longbeards, as you can see here, I marched them up to here is where they left. And we'll continue on to the next picture. Alright, and here we are on my right flank, which I marched the Iron Breakers up, and I move my Iron Drakes over to shoot at the Sky Cutter, and then my copter moves up to get a flanking shot. So of course, with no magic, we'll go into shooting. My copter shoots, rolls a dice, no hits. I believe 2 shots, no hits. So then it's up to the Iron Drakes to kill him, hopefully. So they get their shots. They get 3 hits, 2 wounds. Fortunately, let me believe here. I don't think they have. What is it? I thought they had a save. Yeah, 4 plus. Oh, but it was strength 5, armor piercing. That's right. So they get a -3. So no one saves on those. So he takes 2 wounds. 2 wounds left. Oh, couldn't kill him right out. Gets at any points. So that goes there. So there's no magic. No, that was it for shooting, and no combat. So we go on to the Elves' turn. And here we go. High Elf turn number 4. This is what they do. Sky Cutter moves around to my Iron Drake's flank. The Elven Reavers that were in the woods, they move out behind to the rear of the Iron Drakes. And my Silver Helms move, or probably march more along here to the right, so they can be in the rear of my Iron Breakers, most likely, or his charge. What else here? That's it for that side. Oh, yep. Hey, oh yeah. If you, those who like Waldo, I got a Waldo for you. Where do you see the eagle? He's still hiding behind the rock. That eagle likes the rock. Alright, I'll call him Rocky. Hey Rocky, how's it going? See you later. We'll go on to the next one. Alright, here we are in the center pretty much. As you can see, the Elven Reavers moved up to be in the rear of the unit. What's left of the unit. Sisters move up some, and the Dragon Princes decide to move back to be safe. And of course, there you see moving his eagle from the right side of the rock to the left side of the rock. Rocky staying hidden. So that's it for the High Elf turn. And here we are. Actually, I'm going to talk about some magic here before we go to this one. Some magic. He gets 6. I get my 4. The High Elf gets no channels, and I get 1 channel, so it's 6 to 5. And unfortunately, the whole game here so far, this game is pretty fast. This is my very first high magic irresistible forces rose, and the shortest game, all in one. Yay. He was pretty much throwing Pit of Shades, Michaelis, Mystify, Miasma, and the Withering. He did attempt really Flesh to Stone, which is what I'll be talking about here. I believe this first one was Aquaman's Mind Razor to use some unit, but of course he miscast. He didn't get the high enough rating, so then he goes for this Pit of Shades again on my Iron Breakers there. Of course I got this, which I use as Dispel Scroll on. No, I don't use Dispel. I use the rest of my 5 dice, because he must used, I believe, 4 for that one. For Mind Razor, misses. Uses last 2 Pit of Shades. Let's see what he needed a 14, so yeah, I used 2 there. I used my 5 dice and dispelled that. So we go on to shooting. And here this is the result after shooting. So we got the first bolt thrower, which is behind that building. Saw earlier, 6 shots at the iron breakers there above the woods. 1 dies. Then the archers shoot at the iron breakers with 1 die. The second bolt thrower shoots at them, 6 shots, 2 die. That's back rank. So I got 1 guy left. Another bolt thrower shoots and the last guy dies. So now I'm down to those guys. Now here at the bottom we get the Ellen Reavers shoot at the Longbeards from that distance. No hits. They all whiff their arrows above the dwarves' heads. So they're still alive there. Unfortunately, we got all those sisters there. So the sisters shoot, and that's the result. After all the potential saves and whatnot, my Rune Lord stands alone. Go Rune Lord! Standing alone to fight them horde of high elves. Of course, there's no combat, as you can tell. So we go on to turn 5. And here we go, dwarf turn 5. This is what we got left. And those are my dead guys. There's what he's got left surrounding me. Unfortunately, at this point, I am considered toast. All I got is my Rune Lord take on the sisters and the Reavers, standing alone. My Iron Drakes and my Iron Breakers, and my Copter. So with that, I go to my new rule that I just made up last turn, that if for home games or shop games, whatever you want to call it, is like if you want to keep on fighting or you don't, you roll a d6. So on a high roll, you fight on. On a low roll, you flee, and the game is over. So what I do is I rolled. It was due to the normal tournament games that I was been in, my other mates have been in. It's about 2.5 hours. With of course 6. If you can get 6 rounds in, yeah. This game we could have gotten 6 rounds because we were only about an hour and 45 minutes in. But I knew he was going to wipe me out in this turn and next turn with his charges to my rears and the front. So I decided to do that roll. And on my roll, I get a 2. Yay! High Elves. So the High Elves win and the Dwarves flee. So they go, flee, flee for your lives. If you know where that saying's from. And that's the end of the game. So a couple of the things to recap is definitely first 2 rounds, magic. High Elves were superior. 2 irresistible forces right at the bat. Spell number 1, spell number 2. Which shouldn't have happened, of course. You can comment and whatnot, but I know, I'm sure we all make mistakes in the game. Of course, this is my first time attempt at doing this. So, of course, I've probably missed catching those and trying to take pictures and write down notes. And so what I'm thinking is probably going to the video next time. So if you don't see one for a while, you most likely, I'm working on a video version. Trying to do that, see how much better that is. Because right now, trying to write down notes and take pictures is a little complicated and trying to keep everything straight. But that's the game. On to the next one, and hopefully the dwarves will redeem themselves against another army. So stay tuned for the next one, and good gaming.